Everyone, and welcome to episode 32 of the Halftime Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Reese Kinder. We are back again. It has been a actually couple of weeks. I was on break for the holidays. I really wasn't, I was paying attention to sports, but I really wasn't, into everything. And back on here, new year 2026, and excited because we are about to in this episode, we're going to dive in to the college football playoff bracket. We're going to look at the final four teams remaining in the Peach Bowl and the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. And then we're going to move on to some NFL playoffs. The NFL playoff bracket is officially set. And this weekend, we have some huge matchups between some great teams. And we're going to talk about all that here coming up on episode 32 of the Halftime Sports Talk Show. What is up, everyone? It is a long way to return, like I said, for the college football playoff predictions and everything, and also the NFL as well. We, have just now gotten back into the groove of things, new year, trying to get everything set up. We had some new equipment that I got over the holidays, so yeah, really excited to get here. But we're going to start the episode off here with the college football playoff semifinal predictions, and our first game up, it is Oregon and Indiana. Both these teams coming off big wins in their last matchup. Oregon won the Orange Bowl. Indiana won the Rose Bowl. And we're going to start on the Oregon side of things. And I'm going to start off with the Oregon defense. That's one thing I wanted to highlight is this Oregon defense really strong. And it's not that I don't believe Oregon doesn't have an offense. It's like I watched the Texas Tech game. I don't know if it's Texas Tech has a really good defense or it's Texas Tech is just, a certain caliber of defense that can stop Oregon. I don't know if Indiana's going to be able to do the same thing, but my thing is Oregon is coming in this game, only had a few field goals, and Dan Lanning did run up the score in that matchup against, he ran up the score in the matchup against Texas Tech, which was very, I would say, classless, to be honest. I really didn't think that was going to happen. I thought he was going to be like, you know what, we'll go ahead and go with the guys that we'll just go ahead and make it 16-0 and we'll be fine with that. And it really was crazy to me that he ended up doing that. But you see now that Oregon in the next round of the college football playoff. But yeah, Oregon's defense is something that definitely stands out to me. A few interceptions against Texas Tech last week really created some momentum for them. Dante Moore wasn't efficient enough, I think, in that matchup against Texas Tech. I really wanted to see a little bit more from him. I know he's a young guy, but I really did want to see more from Dante Moore in that game. And like I said, Oregon's offense was a struggle for most of the game. Actually, I would say all the game. And I would admit as well. Well, actually, I won't admit because the James Madison game was a different story. They did have a lot of offense. The defense wasn't there. So it kind of balances things out a little bit as we get into this next round. But I think, to be honest, Oregon, it's something to, if you're an Oregon fan, it's something to be scared of because if you don't have the offense to compete with this Indiana team, and we'll get to that in a minute, it's going to be really hard for you to keep up with this team due to the fact that this team is really, really good on both sides of the ball, and they showed it in the Rose Bowl. But yeah, that's all I had to say mainly for Oregon. I really think this Ducks team is a good team, but still some problems lingering as we continue on in the season. But going to the Indiana side of things, Indiana, it's really about the it's really about the offense. I mean, Mendoza, Heisman winner quarterback, he proved it in the Alabama game. I watched that entire game, and I know Alabama fans kind of hate me on this account because they think I hate on the team. It's not that I hate on the team, it's just I point out the obvious about what happens. And I'm not even blaming this game on the players. I think this Alabama game was on the coaching. Like, Kalen DeBoer, what are you doing going for a fourth down and one on your own 30 when you're only down 3 points? That's something a coach does when they're down. You know, they'll be down about, we'll say, 15 to 20 points, and that's something a coach would do like that. But when you're down one or when you're down 3 points, that's really bad decision making there if you're a coach, and it also hurts your team as well when they already feel down after missing that, and then Indiana goes and scores right away. But yeah, I mean, just a really, really sad turn of events. Alabama misses that fourth down. Indiana throws a touchdown pass, and then they just continue from there. But what I was saying about Mendoza is this guy, I mean, came from really nothing, and he's proven time and time again that he can defeat these big teams. And that was the question going in because Indiana actually, this is a crazy stat. Indiana is the first team in the 12-team playoff era that had a first round bye that's won a game. And it's been shocking. But yeah, Indiana, a great win against the Crimson Tide, and I was really shocked to see it be that bad of a blowout. I mean, Mendoza, this is the thing I like about him. He perfectly places the football where the receivers can catch it, and he also can run as well. Nobody realizes he can run. He's a 6'5 quarterback that kind of is a pocket passer, but when he needs to run and use his legs, he can use his legs, and he did that against Alabama a few times, and Alabama was not ready for it. But yeah, this Oregon Indiana matchup, going into this, my real big question mark is can Oregon turn over Mendoza? Because Mendoza is really a he's really a guy that doesn't turn the ball over much, and if you can't get him to turn the ball over, Indiana's going to win football games, and that's what really hurts because if Indiana, can't really turn if Oregon can't turn Indiana over, then this Indiana Hoosiers team's going to be able to win the game because Indiana's got receivers. Elijah Surratt is a really good receiver. Omar Cooper Jr., one of excellent wide receiver, and then Roman Hemby and Black at running back. They're both really good running backs. This running back room has just suddenly come on towards the end of the year. And then don't forget about the Indiana defense. Aiden Fisher has just been an excellent defensive piece on this team. And then also you got to look at some of these corners like D'Angelo Pons. He's been such an excellent corner this season. So this Indiana Hoosiers team, a really exciting story in college football. I don't think the story is going to end here. I think the story is going to end in the college football playoff national championship in Miami. And I think this Hoosiers team's going to get a big win against Oregon. I think, it's hard to say. A lot of people have that saying, it's hard to be a good team twice. Indiana is going to be able to get a big win here against the Ducks, and they are going to move on to their first ever national championship appearance. And I can't wait to see what happens here as Indiana and Oregon face off on Friday night. I believe that game is. But yeah, that's it for the Oregon Indiana game. Now we're going to move on to our next game on the slate. This is Ole Miss and Miami. Ole Miss and Miami, both teams have been doubted the entire college football playoff, and they time and time again they've prevailed. And this Ole Miss team, a lot of question marks going in the playoff. Lane Kiffin not the coach anymore, and it's been a real up and down roller coaster here to start the postseason for Ole Miss. But they've gotten the job done. Trinidad Chambliss leading the charge for this Rebels team. He has just had excellent passes. He's one of those guys that if he breaks free and finds yardage, he can use his legs. He can also use his arm to find receivers downfield. He did that plenty of times against Georgia, and he can do it again. And then on the Miami side of things, the Miami defense brings a lot of heat there. Keontae Scott with a huge 72-yard interception return for the Hurricanes, and he was able to get them on the board again and get them to a 14-0 lead. And then this Miami team just has a great they have great defensive pieces, and the offense is kind of struggling a little bit, I would say, in the playoff. But I do think this Miami offense will be a very good offense in this Ole Miss game because Ole Miss's defense does kind of wear down towards the end of the game. But yeah, let's get into the predictions game real quick, and then we'll move on to NFL playoffs. But yeah, going to the prediction, the question mark here is the Rebels have to limit the QB pressures. And yeah, I mean, Miami, the defensive line really stands out. The defensive line got a lot of big guys on that defensive line for Miami, and some of the corners stand out as well. And I think the Hurricanes are going to be able to get some pressure on Trinidad Chambliss. It's just a matter of fact is can he roll out and get out of those situations, or will he be stuffed? And Ole Miss will have trouble finding receivers all night, or even like trying to hand the ball off and stuff like that. This game is going to be a huge game. Both teams are just excellent so far in this playoff. I honestly think the Miami Hurricanes are going to win this game. Miami has just had such a good playoff run, and I don't think it's going to end here. I'm sorry, Ole Miss. I think it'll be a close game. It'll be a low-scoring game, and I think both defenses are going to get a few turnovers off the quarterbacks and maybe even a few turnovers off of a running back or so. And I think Miami's going to get a big win, but it's going to be close, and they're going to win the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, and they will be playing at home for the national championship. So I have Indiana and Miami in the national championship, and I cannot wait to see what happens on Thursday, only 2 days away from this college football playoff, and just awaiting what's going to happen. Ole Miss has had such a stellar season. Miami's had a stellar season, and I'm so excited to see if both of these teams can get some big wins on Thursday and Friday. But yeah, that's going to do it for the college football playoff prediction. Not much, only 4 games left in the season. But we're going to now go to the NFL playoff prediction slash preview, and we're going to start in the NFC. We're going to start with our first game. It is the Rams versus the Panthers. Yes, my Panthers finally make the playoffs. They finally get over the hump. I was so proud of the team, even though the refs screwed us on Saturday. But I'm gonna try to not be as biased as possible in this matchup here. We're gonna start it now, and yeah, Rams versus Panthers, second time. This is going to be at Bank of America Stadium Saturday at 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern. And the question mark here is, can the Panthers upset the Rams again? I think so. The Rams have played a variety of teams this year, but the thing that sticks out to me the most is when Matthew Stafford plays a tough defense. He really struggles. They played the Falcons. He turned the ball over a few times. They played the Panthers. Turned the ball over a few times. He played Seattle. I believe they turned the ball over a few times. So whenever Matthew Stafford has to face tough competition or a decent defense, it's kind of hard for him to find his receivers, and he kind of messes up. So I'm going to admit here, the Panthers are outmatched, but I do think this game is going to be a lot closer than the analysts or anybody thinks. This game's at Bank of America Stadium, first playoff game at home since 2015, the Arizona Cardinals game to go to the Super Bowl 50. And the year before that, nobody realizes the Panthers were 7-8-1, and they beat the Arizona Cardinals, who were 11-5. So my thing is here, can the Panthers win? I mean, that's the thing. If the Panthers are able to win this game, can they win it big, or is it going to take a while for the Panthers to gain a lead or even get in this thing? And I think, to be honest, I really have hope that this Panthers squad is going to be able to get things done, because I was on a TikTok live last night with a few Rams fans, and we were talking. I mean, the Rams fans even admit that it's been an up and down roller coaster, but I will admit Sean McVay has the play calling in the playoffs. He always seems to get it going in the playoffs. But my thing is, it's a young Panthers team. You guys have had nobody that's really been there before, and that's what kind of sticks out the most, is like this could be a blowout if the Panthers don't watch their back. But my other thing is, Bryce Young has been such an elite, like maybe not elite, but a good piece to this Panthers team this year. And so is Teddy McMillan and a few other of these Panthers players like Jalen Coker, Rico Dowdle, and I guess you could say Bryce Tremaine maybe, and also Tommy Trimble. They've been key pieces to this Panthers team this season. And I honestly think on Saturday, this game is going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be exactly like the last matchup that these two played, and I think that the Panthers are going to get a big win. I really do. think the Panthers will get a big win, and the Panthers will either play the Seahawks or the Bears in the next round. So really interesting to see what happens there if they win. But the Rams, otherwise, if they get past the Panthers, I think the Rams are possibly Super Bowl contenders, to be honest. So if the Rams can do that, I think they are Super Bowl contenders. But right now, I really think the Panthers are going to win this game. I just have strong hope. I could be wrong, but yeah, I think the Panthers have it again, and they're going to be able to get it done. But yeah, moving on from the Panthers and the Rams game, we're going to go to the other Saturday game. It's the Packers and the Bears. And the question is here, are the Bears legit or will they choke in the first round? And what I mean by that is we've seen in recent history, 2018, for example, that the Bears have been very up and down in the playoffs. And I honestly think that this Chicago Bears team is good this year. I think Ben Johnson's done a great job, but will the Packers be ready? Because the Packers have been struggling as of late in some games, but I really have faith in the Bears to win, but I think this could be closer than a lot of people imagine. But yeah, I mean the Packers really struggling. They're 9-7-1, just barely made it on that line of the playoffs. Really excited to see what they can do. And then the Bears, they did lose to the Lions the last week of the season, but I think the Bears might have this one in the bag. I don't think they'll choke this one. I think they'll be close, but I think the Bears are going to be able to win it. It's a matter if they can keep composure because they haven't been there in a long time. So Ben Johnson's going to have to teach his guys, like, you got to act like you've been there before and can't get ahead of yourself in a big moment. And I'm sure he will. And it's a division rival, so this game's going to add even more higher stakes to it. And I think the Packers and Bears is going to be a good game, but I have the Chicago Bears winning this matchup in a huge one. I mean, this is Soldier Field, 8:30, I think, Eastern time on Saturday. So really big matchup for both of those teams, and really excited to see what's going on with the NFC North and if, the Bears can win this game and move on. But going to our next game, it is the game that I think a lot of people are confused on who to pick. And the reason I say this is the Bills and Jaguars, and the question mark going into the game is the Bills might not be ready for the Jags because, in my honest opinion, I'm a Panthers fan, but in my honest opinion, I have Jacksonville as the Super Bowl champion, to be honest, or Super Bowl contender. I think the Jaguars have enough pieces to win the Super Bowl. It's just a matter, can they fit those pieces together and will they work in the playoffs? 13-4, Liam Cohen in his first season as the Jaguars head coach. The Bills, a struggling squad this year, but have found their footing towards the end of the season. Bills and Jaguars, I'm really excited to see what happens in this matchup. I think what's going to happen is I think it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a really high-scoring game, but I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to get a big win in Duval, and they're gonna move on. And I think the Jaguars are Super Bowl contenders. Like I said, this Jacksonville team just stands out. The offense averages almost, I think it's the sixth best points scored in the league. And I'm just really excited to see how this Jaguars team can, fight through adversity, fight through all the doubters, and, the small market team can get to the Super Bowl. And I really believe that this Jacksonville team has the pieces, has the team to get there. But yeah, that's all I got to say for Jacksonville. But on the Bills side of things, I think Josh Allen's going to have a good game. It's just the choke, man. I just don't know if the Bills are going to choke the playoffs or not, because Josh Allen has no excuse this year because he always sucks against Patrick Mahomes. He has no excuse this year to say, oh, we could have won, and the refs cost us and stuff like that. Bills fans also don't have an excuse to say that. I mean, the Jaguars are a good team. This is going to be a great matchup. I think they picked a really good matchup for a Sunday game, and I'm just really stoked to see how this game turns out. But yeah, I think the Jaguars are going to get a big win, and like I said, my Super Bowl contender. So if you guys follow the picks, I mean, if you guys keep following the picks and realize I have a perfect bracket, then somebody's got to pay me some money. So that's all I got to say. But yeah, Bills Jaguars Sunday at 12 o'clock Central Time, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. So yeah, That is the Sunday game. And then your other Sunday game at 3:30, it's two teams that I honestly think are overrated. It's the Eagles and the 49ers, and the 49ers have been struggling. And so have the Eagles. I mean, this game is just, like I said, both teams I just personally think are overrated. Sorry to those fan bases. The Eagles, though, have just been up and down all year, lost the Commanders. I know they had nobody playing. Yes, that also had like fans playing the game against the Commanders. But still, the Eagles not one of their better seasons after coming off the Super Bowl win against the Chiefs last year. And then the 49ers, just to me, it's 3 points against the Seahawks. I know the Seahawks are good, but 3 points, come on. Got to do more than that. And there's been notorious accounts that I can account this season that you know, that the 49ers have had opportunity after opportunity to do something and they just have not been able to. So, yeah, I think, to be honest, this game, I'm going to call it the battle of overrated. I'm sorry, Eagles and 49ers fans, but I'm going to say San Francisco wins this game. San Francisco just might have a little bit more of an edge. The defense, I feel like, is there. They've started to kind of come together, but the offense, man, I think this is going to be low scoring, maybe like a 10-3 ball game that the 49ers win, and I think it's going to really show how both these teams are just not ready for, or they're both teams are just kind of hanging on by a thread in the playoffs. But yeah, I got the 49ers win this game in a close one. And then on the Eagles side of things, it's not that I like don't believe in the Eagles at all. It's like I've seen a bunch of games this year and they've just had struggle. Like they've struggled in most categories of the season. Like Jalen Hurts missing receivers wide open. The defense has kind of given up a lot of points, and it's just time after time you can put something in there that is not a part of the winning formula, and it's just the Eagles have just been so bad this year. And it might be one of the Super Bowl hangovers, and that could lead to the Eagles' elimination here on Sunday. But yeah, really tough to say that a Super Bowl champion is going to possibly be out first round, because I really have hope the Eagles could make it far if they win, but I just don't see them winning. I see San Francisco winning. The NFC West is stacked, and I think San Francisco is going to get a close win. But yeah, really not high hopes for both of these teams. Whoever they play next, I think they'll get eliminated. But going to our next game, it is the last game on Sunday. It's Sunday Night Football. It is the Pats at home against the Chargers. And the Chargers look to upset New England after a tough loss to Denver last week. This is going to be a game as well, kind of like Jacksonville and Buffalo. A lot of people don't want to believe that the Patriots are good. The Patriots have not really played anybody, I will admit that. And also, I will say the Chargers have had a really good season. Jim Harbaugh has had excellent season so far for the Chargers. I really want to say the Chargers might win this game, but I think the Pats are going to sneak it out at home. And I think the Chargers and Pats will be a great game, though. But the Patriots will get a win. And on the Chargers side of things, Justin Herbert, really good quarterback. I think they're still missing maybe a piece or two at receiver. Ollie Gadsden, the third or second, I can't really recall who it is, but he's been really solid for this Chargers team at tight end. I think he's going to be a playmaker in this matchup. And I also think for the Chargers, I think the running back position will be really key in this one for trying to win. But the Chargers are going to have an elite defense to win this game. The Patriots are no fraud. They score a lot of points. And, going to the Patriots side of things, Drake May, MVP, I don't know if you could say front runner. Him and Matthew Stafford might be neck and neck. People in the comments can let me know what they think. But looking at the Patriots and Chargers, Patriots side of things, Stephon Diggs has had a decent season, maybe a good season, I guess, as some Patriots fans could say. Travion Henderson's been a steal in the draft. I really like that guy. He's been a really good running back. And the Patriots defense has started to come alive as well. So I really have hope that this Pats team is going to be able to get the job done. I just don't know. The Chargers have a decent offense, and it might be decent enough to get them the win against the Patriots. But I will take New England here, and they will move on to the next round and face the winner of, I don't even know how the seeding works anymore, because I saw some brackets earlier, and they kind of switched me around and confused me. So, yeah, Patriots will just await whoever they play, and I'll be the one to predict the game. Yeah. But our next and last game, it's Monday Night Football, the last Monday night game of the season. It is the Steelers versus Texans, and the key here is the Texans defense will be key in this matchup. And guys, for anybody that's watching, this Texans defense is one of the best, actually the best defense in the NFL, I think. And I think this is going to lead them far in the playoffs. Defense does indeed win championships, and I think the Texans defense is going to be one of those defenses to get them far in the playoffs. Not Super Bowl far, but maybe AFC Championship far or even second round far. I think this Texas team is going to have a really good time against the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, an older quarterback, he's going to have trouble eluding the pocket because he can't use his legs like he used to before. And I feel like the Texans are going to be able to limit the receivers from catching passes. And this Texans offense got to get going in the playoffs. But I really do think the Texans defense is going to have something to say about this Steelers team in the first round. And I think they're going to win in Pittsburgh in a cold environment, but they're going to win in Pittsburgh. And then the Steelers on their side of things, like I said, Aaron Rodgers playing another playoff game. I don't really have hope in Rodgers this year. I think he's going to end up either retiring or he's going to move on to another team next year. I think Pittsburgh just got lucky with the Tyler Loop miss on that field goal because I think it should be the Ravens. And if it was the Ravens, I would pick the Ravens. But the Steelers, no, I just don't think the Steelers really deserve to be in the playoffs. After just having kind of an up and down season. But Mike Tomlin still doesn't have a losing record as a Steelers coach, so really congratulate them for that. But yeah, I just don't think it's going to be a pretty game for the Steelers. They're going to probably turn the ball over a few times because this Texans defense is really elite. But yeah, got Texans winning that. So that's going to conclude the episode. The first round for the NFL playoffs coming up this weekend. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm glad we're back again. And we're going to still continue to cover everything. Well, not everything, just football now. We're just a football show now, so kind of give me some time off in the summer and spring to do some stuff with the show. But yeah, next episode, we're going to probably be talking some transfer portal for college football. Also, yeah, probably just transfer portal for college football, and then we'll look into the NFL second round. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 32 of the Halftime Sports Talk Show. Just have a great weekend, guys. Be safe out there. For anybody going to any playoff games, I hope you guys have a fun time. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and see you next week.